Every week, another SEO expert promises the secret to ranking in AI overviews. Here's what 10 years of digital marketing and dozens of recent client conversations taught me. They are all lying to you. We don't know the answer yet. There is no silver bullet. But if we look at the data and see correlations, we can work and test hypotheses. This is what I'm doing with my clients right now. As you can see here already, it is working. But does it always work? Is it the correlation? Look, I'm not here to sell you another course or any silver bullets, but let's figure it out together by looking at the data. And then I tell you what I'm currently doing to get results like these that might work for you too. This client ranks for 50 AI overviews right now. This is a new channel, so you're probably new here and have no idea who I am. I'm Sasha. I'm a freelancer at SH Media. I have 10 years of experience, but let's dive in. AI overviews are obviously increasing in demand right now. There are more and people are looking it up. But let's look at data and correlation. And it's very important to note it's not causation yet. We don't know. Ahrefs, if you're not familiar with Ahrefs, it's one of the biggest SEO tools out there. They did massive analysis of search results. And what they see is that overall AI reduces the click rate by 34%. That's obviously massive. So we do need to care about it. But let's look into a little bit more details here. One thing that is super important to note, Google says that it's just normal good SEO that gets you ranking in the search results. Of course, there's always Google says and Google does. So it's two different things. They have lied to us many times. But if we look into the data, we will see that normal SEO is the majority of work. Okay, we can end the video here. We just do normal SEO. Of course, it's not that simple. So let's look at the data again a little bit more in detail. So for example, here's another client of mine. This is a local business. It ranks for 15 AI overviews right now. For that business, it's massive. So the Ahrefs studies, they found that 76% of the cited sources are already in the top 10 of Google. Only 9% or almost 10% are in the top 100. And then there's a lot more than this, 15% almost, that are not ranking in the SERPs at all. So there's additional sites that are not being indexed by Google or not ranking, but still showing up in the results. This is one of the most interesting findings. Again, this is correlation, not causation. Brand mentions, branded anchors, branded search volume. Those are seems to be the biggest impacts of being featured in AI overviews. So what does it mean? Brand web mentions are basically every time your brand is mentioned. It doesn't mean that it's linked. So if you write an article about your brand, for me, it would be Sasha at SH Media. If someone writes this, Google finds it. The brand mention is one of the biggest drivers, like Ahrefs, etc. Branded anchors is when the brand mention is also linking to your website. Brand search volume, if someone goes to Google and types in your brand, that's the brand search volume. This can be a combination of all of it. And I will tell you a little bit later what I'm currently doing to address this. A little bit later, I will tell you how I use this correlation data to inform our backlink strategies right now. DR is domain authority. This is the value of Ahrefs, has not the highest impact, but it is already 0.3. So meaning authoritative pages rank in AI overviews, which aligns with the top 10 pages. If we were to look into who's ranking the top 10 search results, it is often authority pages. The number of referring domains is not as important as we thought it would. For SEO, it is more important. But again, here I think is where the magic can happen. Branded anchors, branded web mentions, if those are also backlinks, you basically hit two birds with one stone. And that's also very interesting. Branded traffic is not as important as branded search volume. So we see this maybe a lot, that the branded searches end at like Reddit or something like this. Speaking of Reddit, Reddit is the absolute winner of AI overviews. In 5.5% of all AI overviews, they were cited, similar to Quora. What tells us this? User-generated content is highly trusted by the AI overviews. Interestingly, because I will mention it a little bit later, YouTube is not super far up. YouTube is on position 39 with 1.1%. But we will look into this also in just a second, why YouTube is super interesting. And now it's like different data sources have different analyses. This result says it's searching is 25% in AI overviews cited. Whatever that number really is, AI overviews like videos. This is one of the tactics we can use to get our content in front of the people. We talked a lot about AI overviews, but now let's talk specifically about ChatGPT. We can't really say that much because there's right now also different reports. A month ago, people were saying, oh, it's only using Bing data, but we also know that it was spotted and leaked that ChatGPT was crawling Google results. So that's exactly to the point. We don't know 100% what is working and what not. So let's follow just the ChatGPT guidelines here, where they say make sure that you haven't opted out for AI search crawlers. One very important thing to check is the log files. Actually, I did this for all of my clients recently. We basically download the log files from the servers. If you use like even Cloudflare or whatever, like they have, you can download the log files and then use a prompt like this. Shout out to Matt Diggity. I got this tactic from him. And then basically analyze your log files if your sites have been crawled by all these AI crawlers. If not, work with ChatGPT and see what can you do to get them to visit your site. Often technical SEO is the solution here. So this is all great. We talk about like how to get featured. We know that we miss 35% almost on clicks because of the AI overviews. But what does it actually do to our businesses? If you don't run a content business where you rely on web traffic, like monetizing through advertisements or something like this, your business model probably relies on people contacting you in one way or another, or completing an action on your site. And this is one Ahrefs data, but this correlates with what everyone in the market is saying, that referral traffic from search engines converts really high. I, for example, have here 2 leads from ChatGPT. Look, I don't get that many leads, but you can see here that those are from ChatGPT. So I mentioned, what can we do now to work to get better featured? One way that I'm looking in right now is I'll look into which keywords are we ranking for, but are not featured in the AI overview. Often this then is something conversational. The trend goes right now into have the answer very conversational, have the queries a little bit longer, because in Google, people were typing something very short, but with AI, they fully ask a question, maybe explain the question, what they mean. The more human touch can help here. This is one tactic we're going to try for a lot of the websites I'm working on. Another way is not being featured with YouTube videos in the SERP results. That tells me that Google likes to show video results for queries, often informational. That is actually, even if this doesn't get me ranking in AI, it might get me ranking on the SERPs and also on YouTube. So this could be a win-win situation for my clients or for my own websites, because I now have more opportunities to rank. We also know that video converts better than written content. So that might be, again, a win-win situation. If the video ranks in the AI overview, it pre-qualifies the people. And then through watching the video, they convert even better. That's what I would take any given day. I know this is not the most exciting video, but this is the truth. You can't just rely on a few people who had success with one website and say, now I know what to do. This is just data we can take. I want to go back to one more activity that we're doing right now. A lot of people say right now that list posts work very well. For example, best X for Y, and then list all the different vendors. That could be, for example, best roofer in San Francisco. If you're a roofer, you'll also list some competitors. You put yourself on number 1. This will increase the brand mention, but also potentially the branded anchor. And you basically also get another backlink. We will play with this right now with unlinked mentions and linked mentions. This is again one of those things where we don't know if this really works, because some cases have shown it works, but maybe they haven't tested other things. But we're jumping on the bandwagon and try this. It doesn't hurt to be the number one in many lists. If you need help with general SEO that also always has an eye on future trends, feel free to reach out, and we take a data-driven approach to your SEO. Cheers.